There are many factors that could contribute to the rise of counterproductive behaviors in the workplace. When an employee makes a conscious decision to engage in counterproductive work behaviors, several factors could be at play. The employee may not be aware of the company's policies against such behavior, or they may not care. It could be possible the employee had engaged in these behaviors in the past and not been penalized for them. Some policies a company could have that would contribute to these behaviors would be things such as a lack of an absentee policy, wherein employees who are repeatedly late are not punished or required to keep track of their hours. Another example of organizational policies that could contribute to corruption in the workplace would be the separation of levels of management. Putting supervisors, managers, or bosses on a pedestal while the employees who work hard are not recognized can cause animosity within the workers. This type of separation is a form of social undermining that can make the workers feel like they're not important and lead to an increase in counterproductive work behaviors. Another aspect that can lead to these counterproductive behaviors is an abusive work culture. In this type of work culture, it is commonplace and acceptable to verbally or physically abuse or degrade coworkers, and it presents a different kind of challenge to industrial organizational psychologists trying to problem solve. Monitoring employees during work hours could have mixed effects, but the added pressure of being watched might motivate the employees to get more work done. There are various ways these problems could be remedied. First, creating an absentee policy where employees are required to clock in and out, notify managers if they are going to be late or need to leave early, and let the employees know that there will be consequences if the policy is not followed, could reduce lost work hours. Many individuals skip work, come in late, or leave early simply because they can get away with it. If a company is interested in reducing this effect, then they can make sure the message is sent that it will not be tolerated. Decreasing the divide between employees and so-called higher-ups in a company can be achieved by humanizing them. Examples of this could include scheduling meetings, visits with employees, having one-on-ones when possible. This will help build genuine relationships between the employees and the managers, creating an environment where one feels that they can rely on each other and are valued. Implementing zero-tolerance policy for abuse in the workplace could also have mixed effects. Changing a work culture is not something that can be done overnight. People will need to be shown that they will be punished for behaviors that are detrimental to their colleagues and the company as a whole. Broadly, policies that incentivize productive behaviors and penalize unproductive behaviors should be established in any organization that wishes to maintain levels of productivity while ensuring a safe working environment for the employees. For question number 4, I will be referring to a job listing for a qualified mental health professional at a behavioral health center. This listing specifically lists the qualifications and tasks to expect on the job. The QMHP position requires a certification, which tells the employer that the applicant has at least 1,500 hours of experience working in a mental health related field and are at least somewhat proficient and interested in the field. By listing the qualified mental health professional certificate under requirements, the employee does not need to explain that they are looking for individuals who are dedicated to human services. They are simply allowing the requirements to speak for them. The listing also requires a bachelor's degree, which tells the employees the applicant has some level of familiarity with psychological terms and proficiency in the written and spoken communications. Furthermore, the tasks of the job are listed, giving the applicant an idea of what to expect on the job. The listing of the in-role expectations is something that seems very simple, but many other job listings actually overlook this step. The job listing further explains the company's goal is to connect employees with the company's mission, although they do not specifically say what their mission is. I would list the company's mission statement in the job listing because it gives a better idea as to what values this applicant would be aligning themselves with. Also, I would include more information on the demographic that the applicant will be serving. Suppose the job listing is looking for individuals who are kind, patient, and have excellent problem-solving skills. Now, these are all good qualities to have when working in the mental health field, but the level of importance of each skill varies according to the demographic being served. For example, an in-home qualified mental health professional for a 10-year-old might need to be more proficient in thinking on their feet and problem solving than a qualified mental health professional who works at a Veterans Resource Center. This would be an example of having proficiency in an area, but depending on the situation, effectiveness may be limited. Overall, I think job listings need to be more specific. Listing organizational citizenship behaviors is always a good start, but most of those extra role behaviors should be considered a given in the professional world. Being able to communicate effectively, problem solve, be patient, and respectful should be non-negotiable. As for job specificity, including in-role expectations, tasks, and specific skills needed with explicit direction should also be non-negotiable in job listings. By adding a more extensive list of in-role expectations, I believe that companies looking for applicants could avoid having to weed through as many applications and find the right fit for a new employee sooner. People want to know what it is they will be doing, and by listing these things, the employer can help the applicant along in the process. One important step this employer could take to ensure that the high performer is not only satisfied with their job, but also maintaining a healthy work-life balance is to not overload them. And this may seem like an obvious solution, but a very common misconception about so-called high performers is that they will be able to continuously remain at that high level of performance indefinitely. This is harmful because it places extra pressure on the employee when they are labeled this way. If the employer is concerned about retaining this employee long-term, they should make efforts to ensure the employee is treated with fairness and not overload them with work simply because they have been identified as a high performer. It might be necessary to keep tabs on the employee's output to ensure that they are not overworking. Helping them reach their potential while simultaneously avoiding burnout requires allowing the employee to take breaks when needed. This could be as simple as setting the standard that work calls or emails should not be outside of working hours, or dividing work so that each employee has their fair share and is not required to overwork, which could cause conflict in their life outside of work. Division of labor helps employees feel satisfied with the amount of work they have done while allowing them to manage their time. They need to feel proud of the amount of work they have done, while also meeting the required quotas set by the company. This is an important step in reducing work-family conflict and can increase satisfaction at home, which could have a positive effect on the work performance and effectiveness of the employees. Besides divvying up tasks and creating a work environment where the expectation is that work should not be taken home, the employer can also help create a work culture where when help is needed, it is acceptable to ask for it. Making sure that the new employee knows that they are not alone in their work and that when they need help, despite being a high performer, they are more than welcome to ask for it. Encouraging employees to socialize and become familiar with one another so that they can rely on each other in times of need, or creating opportunities for team building and organizational sponsored family events so that the workers know they are valued and their families are a priority. Assuring employment longevity and the satisfaction with the company should be two of the main concerns of a company. Once again, helping employees balance work and family life and implementing programs to decrease tension between the two can keep employees happy. Letting the employees know that they are valued through actions as well as words can help people know that they are an important part of a team and increase the likelihood that the high performers will want to stay with an organization long term. In order to find more highly qualified faculty applicants, the recruitment director could utilize several different methods. First, to reach these highly qualified applicants, the recruiters could ask the existing staff members to refer colleagues in the field that they feel fit the description. This method of referral allows employees, in this case the university faculty, who already have a specialty in the area, to be able to seek out individuals they feel are the best fit. In addition to having the advantage of knowing what to look for, they can also determine if the person they will refer will be a wise choice to try and integrate into the university culture, and have a better idea of if they will accept or reject the organizational dynamics, which is critical in ensuring long-term employment and lowering turnover rates amongst employees. If the fiscal resources were available, the recruiter could also offer incentives for referral, as many companies have taken to doing in recent years to widen their applicant pool. Another option for finding highly qualified applicants could utilize methods of online advertisement targeted at the individuals in the field they are looking for. Utilizing a combination of programs like online job boards, social media, and community outreach could help the recruitment director reach their target audience. Many online job boards have the capability of requiring certain criteria before someone can apply. For example, an app designed to advertise jobs openings may require 5+ years of experience, a master's degree in the subject, and former colleagues who are willing to recommend them. For employers to find applicants that fill positions that require specialty, skill, and motivation, they can make the application as stringent as they feel is necessary. To reduce the cost of using such online applications, which are usually not free, the director could also utilize more traditional recruitment methods to reach their target audience. Physical job postings in areas of the campus that see high traffic increase the chance of word getting out about the openings. They could use email campaigns notifying the faculty of the positions and letting them know the director is looking for referrals. A combination of all of these methods may be necessary to utilize before a promising applicant reveals themselves. But if the desire for a highly skilled applicant is strong enough, the director should be willing to try multiple methods until they are successful. I would advise them to be extremely patient while waiting for applicants, and to not choose an applicant just because they are within the pool of the first ones to apply. It may take time for word to reach the right applicant, and using multiple methods of recruitment can help ensure that they have a higher chance of finding the right applicant for the job. Over the past decade, the workforce has seen some incredible changes. Productivity, organization, and the behaviors of organizations as a whole and the individual employees have all been affected. Changes in and introduction to new technologies such as AI and remote work have forever altered the way that we approach and go about getting work done. These changes not only have an impact on the companies and organizations, but on society as a whole. An area that has seen incredible growth and transformation is that of the use of technology in the workforce. The COVID-19 pandemic made it unsafe for many to physically be present at their jobs, but technology quickly stepped up to remedy the enormous gap in the workforce that COVID had created. Things that were once seen as a luxury, such as working from home, online conference meetings, and the automation of repetitive tasks, had become a commonplace reality within a matter of months. For many companies, concerns about health and safety kept employees home for months at a time, and still others have yet to return to the office almost half a decade later. In the beginning, the use of artificial intelligence helped produce creative solutions to problems and was seen as a helpful tool. Over time, though, specifically at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, companies found that they could save money and lessen the cost of operations by automating certain jobs, which unfortunately left many people unemployed. The dynamic between remote workers, the real-time demands of their companies, and the interplay of technology presents new challenges for industrial/organizational psychology, and it also presents new opportunities for research. Despite the negative aspects of the rise of technology over the past decade, a number of positive contributions have also been made. Use of telecommunications, online messaging, video chatting, and social media have helped connect people who would have otherwise been unreachable. Online research and the use of online surveying methods as a means of collecting data have allowed for more diverse populations to be studied. And it also allows for employees to be connected to their coworkers and managers and bosses in ways that they were not before. This bridges a specific gap that takes place in organizations when there is a disconnect between employees and managers or bosses. More work is able to be done quicker than ever with the help of the same technology that can sometimes take jobs from living human beings. Ultimately, the role of technology and the way it changes the workforce strikes a delicately complex balance between helpful and destructive. As psychologists, part of our job is to be aware of these changes and the impact they have on people's lives. This will only become more prevalent as society continues to progress technologically.